right. The Warriors, it lives. That would be me. I always say, like, I don't know if it's good morning, good evening, whatever it is, because depends where you are. I guess in New York or East Coast, 3 in the morning here, 6 in the morning in New York. Stock market's getting open, everything's opening. So in LA, I noticed that, like, it's like anything you say is can be used against you, but even worse, it's like people are so easily offended because of their fragile egos. I should do a whole episode on that. Um, but I'll go to the gym 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and nobody's out there. I mean, rarely a couple people running, or unfortunately, in my area, we have like hustlers around the blocks looking, for candy. And I take offense. I am not, a gay prostitute, and I'm going to the gym. So like I take offense to that. Kind of sucks that you can't even go to people kind of stalking you, but you know um, it doesn't happen all the time. But they see, like, I'm carrying my water bottle, I'm in my gym attire, and I'm going to, I have a very determined look on my face. So they people aren't stupid. They can grasp the situation. They know not to, because if you keep me from going to the gym, I will incapacitate you, basically, every fiber of my being. Because if you get in my way of like me living, um, then you're gonna die, or you're not gonna stop me from, me living my life. So it's kind of like, that's the way it is. Now I understand why people, like, if they're raised in the streets, why they're really hard. I used to not be able to get it, but now I do, because it's tough. The streets, like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter what part. He could be from the means. Like, Jennifer Lopez from the Bronx. So it's like tough. But I guess that toughness, Puerto Rican, it rubs off in every facet of life. Um, so let me get into the topic. I'm just, thinking about this. So how did, boy, the generic, and everybody says, oh, when things aren't going good, take a deep breath, count to 10. So, hey, okay, I'm gonna like challenge it a little bit. Because to everybody, like, when things don't go their way, it's all relative. I have a friend, like, he goes, oh my god, everything started going bad, my lighter went out. I mean, like, you would think, dude, just go buy a 12 pack of lighters, whatever, you got enough lighters for days, whatever, weeks. But and then he goes, oh, then that didn't work out, then that didn't work out. And I said, well, hey, man, look, it's all relative, right? To like bills and stuff, and then that deal fell through, and then that didn't work out. So, like, I'm not nor here nor there. Like, um, I guess I'll go like this. Like, there's these chicken enchiladas I like at Trader Joe's, and I guess the one I Trader Joe's, and one of them, they were out of them, and I really like that. That's like good, nutrient dense food. So it's like, yeah, so it rained yesterday, and I could have called them up. The one in There's actually one Trader Joe's in a mall, ironically close to my gym, very close, to say the least. And I don't, after my workout, I go home and take a shower. I don't go shopping right there. So it's funny. I go to the gym, then go home, take a shower, then walk back all the way back. It's like a mile and a half. I don't care though. And I called the person, said, hey, you got the chicken enchiladas in? It's raining outside. So I walked up there in the rain, and they could have been out of it, right? Meanwhile, they had more than enough of them, 4 of them. So you see, and I remember when I saw they had it, I was happy. If people were looking at me like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? You don't understand. I walked a mile and a half in the rain for some chicken enchiladas, and they got it, 4 of them in. That's like 4 meals for me. That's like, that's really good. I just had one when I woke up at 1:30 in the morning. I tell you, man, it's hard. I did legs yesterday, and here I'll tell you a funny story. There, there's this strip, they're in the gym, the AstroTurf strip. I also have one in another room, but it was more of a whole area. But this is a strip. I have a sled on there. You load the weights on there. You can push the sled across the strip. Well, far end of the strip, it's maybe 35 feet, maybe 40 feet. Doing like I think the guy was standing there. He had some heavy dumbbells there. He had 95-pound dumbbells there. Um, this guy was pretty good size. He might have been 6'3", 6'4". He was pretty good height, not good size. He was really pretty lean. And he's standing there with his back faced toward me, and I know he's doing like kind of lunges with the dumbbells. So I said, "Because I'm gonna wait till he's done with his set, respectively, and then go up and tell him, hey, So I need this strip too. Can we share? So I guess he was doing a sort of a stretch where he had his arms above his head, and he had his earphones in, so he couldn't see me, couldn't hear me, and his back was faced toward me. So I approached him, and ironically, as I tried to go around to talk to him, he must have dropped his arm down because he hit me on the top of the top of the head. It wasn't that hard, but it was still like whoa. And then he looks at me kind of shockingly. He didn't apologize. So I put my finger up. I put my hand up, and he said, "Oh, hold on." So hey, can we please share the strip here? Because I'm. And I said, "Please, can we work together? Because I want to push this sled." He worked out. He didn't apologize for hitting me over on the top of the head, though. These idiots, these clowns that oh, it's okay though. So, but I didn't get reactive. Is my point. I didn't get reactive. I usually get like, oh, you're paying attention. You hit me on the head. Yeah, or you're in the, come on, this is like a strip here for this. I didn't bother wasting my energy with that. So that way I could save all my energy for pushing the sled. And I did. Worked it up to like 3 plates on each side, which is, for me, it's a good amount. Again, I'm not that strong, like you know, compared to like the world's strongest man thing. So that happened. Let's not get too far off topic, and let's go back to how to deal with when everything's not going your way. I can name a million examples, like right now, what's going on. I got trying to figure out how my monthly check's going to come in now because I had to close my bank account. I got an inspect housing coming up on in a week. They always bust my balls about cleanliness in this place. To me, it's clean enough. It's not like a pigsty or anything like that. But they always there's the manager, this woman. They smell you understand? Women have a heightened sense of smell, so they smell one little thing. It's like oh, it smells, and that's not perfect. And I don't start with her because she's a manager and she writes the approval if you pass the inspect. You don't want to get on her bad side. Um, but I start thinking about this and I say this is not a life. This is the shit you have to go through when you live in government housing. And my mom, I talked to her. Not a kibitzer. For you that don't really know, it's a Yiddish word meaning just uh, kibitzing is like just talking to pass the time. Now, you see the light just went out like that. That's another thing. I can complain about, oh, this doesn't, like, this doesn't work in my place. I don't have this. I don't know. I could do it. I could do this a million times over and over. The light keeps going out every second. I could, but this is the way it is. It's just part of the deal. It's part of uh, you have. Now, I know I got a lot to say, and I don't want to forget about anything. Um, Okay, so my mom, yeah, I'm not a kibitzer. My mom likes to call me up in kibitz, and I try to tell her respectively. Goes, Mom, look, I don't surviving here. I'm just trying to grind away with school. I'm trying to stay above, floating above, going to the gym, eating well. That's it. That's all. Because I don't know what she expects me to say. Like, and she's telling me about her health problems. She's getting older. She did not plan accordingly. Like, she didn't plan ahead accordingly. Like, I think I talked about this already, but it's like my mom's not the sharpest tool in the shed, that and they don't offer. Then the guy divorced before he dies, doesn't get the house, he doesn't get nothing. And I go like, why do you marry? What is wrong with you? She goes, oh, you're not old, you don't understand. I said, well, I don't understand. Like if he didn't have a place to live, I told you about these waiting lists. I give her, she doesn't care. Like she doesn't know. She doesn't put herself on these lists. I'm telling you, if you're over 55, it's not. There's a lot more opportunities for the low income housing and the house, the locations when you're older. I sent her a list from Reno. That's where she lives in, like Washoe County, wherever the fuck. She just doesn't do it. She's a sister, dependent. She's hopes she's gonna find somebody, be with somebody, and now she's doing the same shit all over again. And I'm not going to get into it with her because she's very hard-headed. She doesn't hasn't prepared for life accordingly. She bounces around from guy to guy, and she doesn't have. I knew this when I was 30 years old. I knew. I was like, oh shit, like I got to figure out how to solidify myself so I'll be okay. So I got lucky. I was able to get. First, I had like the voucher, the Section 8 voucher. It was easier to get back then, and it's just, sorry, it's my friend Alec likes to work out. Call me early in the morning too. Um, that's the thing, you just have to do these things, that it takes. Um, there's like this homeless woman. I see her walking around all the time too. She used to live in her van. I think I talked about her a couple years ago, and now she doesn't have her van anymore. So she had such low expectations of life. I just need a van to live. I just need a van, and you take that one little thing away, and she's fucked. She's back on the streets. So it's people with low expectations that generally you know make life harder than it is. I told my mom I get to, go there, build a life. She goes, you live in a good area though. And as I explained, you could be a bum in Beverly Hills. You could literally live in a good area and have nothing. And what does that make you? See, my mom is very low expectation. She doesn't get it. Um, she just doesn't get it. Fine, like um, she likes to try to stay in touch with my extended family, which I don't. And they told me like one of my cousins, she finally got the house, that my aunt Stephanie, she passed away. She didn't have, which is absolutely ridiculous if you're older and sick. Like God forbid you pass. That you know. So what happens? Like my aunt's boyfriend that lived in the house when she died, he tried to get the house. Then ironically, her business partner for her hair salon, she tried to get the house. See, it's amazing the termites come out of the woodwork, like when there's something to be had. But now they're wound up getting it. There is a son there, these people, they're not going to do anything to advance you. They never have. I have an uncle. My dad has two brothers. One of them owned like a compounding pharmacy. Never offered me a job or anything. So, fuck him. Date to somebody. He wasn't there for me. He wasn't even when my dad died. He wasn't even there. It was my uncle Leon, that really been there. For me, he's got a daughter now. It's like 13 years old, so he's got his own life. He went through a divorce and everything, but he's like the only one I really entrust. And my friend Harry, that's like kind of grew up with my uncle, so I relate with them. They're older than me, of course. Um, so how to deal with when everything is challenging. I got a really low score on one of my assignments. I knew it too. Like I really like, it's kind of like the dragging through as the courses, they're the second half. I'm almost done, but got a really low score, and I was really surprised. And part of me thinks like, this doctor degree, it's not worth it. I sit there saying, yeah, four college degrees, and they haven't really helped advance me in any way. You sit there, it's like hard to get that motivation sometimes. But then I say to myself, all right, look, man, just another 2.5 weeks of this shit. Let's really step it up now toward the end. You know, I'll get a lot of time off till January to start up. Hopefully, be able to get financial aid. Just got to get that B minus in this one class. I got a really low grade in one of my assignments, so time to really say, okay, fuck it. Let's get into it for the last 2.5 weeks. 2 weeks from Friday. Actually, ironic. Might as well like really get into it and say, okay, let's fucking make sure, because in this degree program, anything lower than a B minus grades don't count. It's that you don't get the credit for passing. Toward the degree. And I'm not really astronomic amount of work away. Like I need these two classes that I got finishing up. Those will knock out my education, and I need two research courses, which those will be the last two. Where you knock out those over 8 weeks, then I'm in the capstone, which is basically a 4-step capstone semester entirety probably, but that's it. You get that your doctor of education. It's really something that I feel that I already felt like I've done enough work for it, but doesn't matter what you feel like you've done enough work for it, because um, they don't, no school grants you the degree based on what you think. I talked about the shit that I went through. Like I fucking, this is like 3.5 years ago, man. Let's say four, because I was 44 years old when I got my master's. I on the way, because it's not a certificate, it's not a postmaster certificate, it's actually a degree. So I figured, all right, well, on the way to doctor of education, get that specialist degree on the way. So that's what I did, and it took me a year and a half. I leveled, but I have arguments with some people, some professors saying it's not a doc. Well, then why is it all doctorate level classes if it's not a doctorate level degree? So, I didn't say it's a doctorate degree. I said it's not. It's not a doctorate. There's no dissertation. There's no, So, well, I don't care what you say. It still is specialist doc. It, it's halfway between a doctor degree and the master's. Halfway in between. So it's better than a master's degree in my mind. So anyway, I picked that up, and I was like, all right, well, let's keep going. And again, like I ran into turbulence because the school was undergoing academic change. Will accept more of the transfer work. I said, well, I did all this fucking work and you're not transferring it in. I mean, that's like so fucked up. Like all that work and it counts for naught. And I went to this other school and I told I passed all the classes, what I went through, 6 months of statistics, pass all the courses and get dismissed from the school. So that's that. Those two courses happens another 2-3 weeks. Hopefully, we'll get those fails, FNs, what they call it. Because those are the classes I didn't. And I'm paying out of pocket. It's a lot. It's okay. So let me get make a point about how to deal with shit is not going. Okay, now I told you like I was struggling. I was like, this stupid thing. There's a choice, right? There's either stay in or drop out kind of thing. Do the work or not. It's a gray area. Um, and it's like half-assing, half passing it. And so what I did was basically, I said to myself, all right, with this one class for this 1 week, because I'm really not into this, I'll turn in something. I'll turn in just something. I'll throw something together just to get some points to get me through this week because I'm really not, I got my mind's on so much other shit, like you know, making money and everything like that. Just other things. I just don't care. So think about this. Like, if you're considering dropping out, during a class because it's too tough, and you're like maybe 60% of the way through, half-ass the assignment. Like, don't you, just slop something together and hand it in. 44 out of 100, 44 points. That's better than dropping out the class, and that's better than a zero. So, of course, now I need a B minus, which is 83.1% to pass the class, right? So I had 84%. I got a 44 on that assignment I just turned in. My percentage went down to 76%. I said, oh shit, hey, it ain't over though. Maybe now, like for this week, I said, hey, you know what? I can kick it back. I can kick it in a high gear now. Now I feel like, all right, you know what? I got an easy week off kind of thing because I half-assed it, but I still got some points. Now I can drive it home. Now it's like, all right, now this week I'm gonna fucking do a kick-ass assignment, and I'm gonna get back to close to that B minus thing because now I could see like it's coming toward the end. I can get it, I got a chance to get through this fucking thing. So I know it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like, oh, what, half-assed and it's no good. Hey, but you know what? It's like saying, hey, the marathon, let's say you ran 18 miles, right? And you're like, I'm going home. It's enough. Take your pace down. So that's my point. It's like there's ways to I hate to say it, but BS your way through it. Um, get creative with it, and I know, or get your mind off of it. That's what I did. I half-assed it and got my mind off it. Went back playing some chess online, look at some YouTube video, whatever. Get your mind off of it for a little bit. Take a mini break. Get away from it for a couple days, but don't drop it completely because it's not worth it. Like it's you've gone. Like that's what I think about. I said, how long I've gone so far, with just to get this doctor degree, like, man, I told you, I started when I was 44 with that dream, and I'm going to be 48 in less than 3 weeks. It hasn't been a full 4 years because I started, when I was, close to, I was close to 45 already, I guess, but I was 44. So my point is that, think of the grand scheme of how much time exhausted into something. It's just not worth giving up. It's better to do a assignment, and get through a week or two and just hang in there. Dude, I've had to repeat so many courses. My master's degree, oh my God, it took I had to repeat ethics in sport. That took me 16 weeks. 16 weeks, man. For a course what I get? I got a C in I had to read, it was in the college catalog. I didn't know. You have to read the whole college catalog to find this shit out. I thought, no, as long as I got a 3.0, I'm good. No, I had to have all B's or better in my core courses. So I had to repeat ethics and sport. It took me weeks, I think. It was a fucking long. But you know what? I kept all the homework that I did. It was the same fucking thing. That's all I did is turn in the same fucking thing. It's the same class, so it's the same work, same answers. So I turned it in. I wound up getting through. I polished it a little bit. So eventually, it took me almost 3 years, but I got my master's degree. I mean, it was a lot. But I look at it like this: time goes no matter what. Like this, man. Do something instead of you just can't sit around and nothing, because see, I can't even say a word that, but it just that's, I don't know, like he's kind of always hustler kind of deal like I have, a little better because his building is applied himself. He's looking for the fast and easy, the hustle, the quick. What does that mean? When are you going to be done handing out? I'm looking to trade up. You know, when I'm done, I'm done. When they give me the doctorate degree, like then I'm done. But it takes as long as it takes. Now, the last school I went to, I had a plan to grad. It didn't matter. I didn't get through the comp exams nor the dissertation. So they grant it to you, so they award it to you, confer it to you. Sorry, that were conferred to me. So, but my point is like it takes maybe close to a year and a half, but it takes what it takes, you know. So, you know, you kind of like some people they just don't understand. They're just looking for success, and you know, most of those people they just, you know, one guy, I want to use it more than I see him around 15. The guy's pretty well put together. Goes, he's fucked. If you're 60 years old and you don't have nothing or did nothing and you didn't put yourself, you know, you didn't apply it, nothing. Um, I mean, fuck, he has a distribution video business or something. I don't know exactly. I tried. What happened? Like, what'd you do in your 30 years old? If you're living, you know, and you don't got no plan accordingly. Like she just no plan, no, you know, some guys for something, you know. Now that my other friend been together a long time and everything like that. He's rich. He owns a fucking manufacturing business in Ohio. Like that, it was like parts for cars. Like I don't know, Mike smart. She just doesn't. She didn't accordingly, you know. So time I sent her a list of numbers so she could call for how she just understand. And what can you do? I got to take care of myself. You know, that's if I can get into it in my place, it doesn't. You know, stuff is. You know, you know, you only get so much lifetime anyways. In a good location near markets, in a gym, miles from the strip, maybe. You know, whatever that's good enough for me. I don't need credible thing. I don't. You know, that's just how I think, man. Same thing with this housing authority. Like, how can you're China with this and that and own here? It really is a kind of a prison like. And you know, and I know I blame myself. I had that damn vouching back in like '02. I did know how to go online. It was, you know, I really didn't start internet savvy until like wasn't even when I went to Northridge in '08 or '09. I wasn't, still wasn't. You know, that's when I started becoming more internet savvy with the stuff. So, you know, a little over 10 years ago. Only take from now, educate yourself more, learn more, and try to move forward. And don't with your resume, like what you've done. Listen, I have, this one chick that I know. She's like 50, working on her associate's degree right now. She's 50, and she tells me I'm lucky. I said nicely, what do you think? What do you think you're going to get an associate degree in sociology? You ain't going to be teaching. You ain't going to be doing nothing. You know, will help me get a job. Okay, well, um, good luck. It's not, what is it? I guess it's better than nothing, but even with a bachelor's in psych or sociology, you ain't going to be a practicing, you know, you know, therapist or counselor. No, nope, 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 nope. You need at least a teaching credential on top of for high schools, even with a bachelor's in that. And so, good luck to her. I mean, but you know what though? It's something. Again, you just build upon things. Like I got a master's in phys ed. So what? So, oh, excuse me. Anyway, so I gave some ideas and some, hope you get the takeaway about sometimes, like I said, half-assing. I know, and I'm not one of those guys that half-ass anything, but I'd rather go to the gym even when I don't feel like it and sort of move around and do something than not doing anything. But again, it just depends. If you need that break to refresh yourself, like if you're really that intense of a lifter, then by all means, that you already know what needs to be done. Anyway, let's just keep it kind of short. Let's keep it brief. And until next time, I'm happy that I was able to get my camera working. See, like everything, man, the light, camera, nothing goes. But you know what? Man, sometimes, you know, the storm does pass. It has to. It has to. I mean, it's the way it is. So, you just hang tough during hard times, man. And, hopefully you will be able to find a way through. I know like I mentioned, all these things all at once, but you know what? I weather the storm. I weather the storm. I take it for what it is. I don't let anything get too overwhelming for me. I don't care. I said, you know what? Look, if I got to move, that's great. If this happens, okay. If I don't get my doctorate degree, great. That's all fine. I'll do the best I can now toward the end with the school, the bank account, money, whatever I got. As long as I told my mom I got survival money, I'll be okay. So that's it. Just fucking weather the storm, wait it out, ride it out, and you'll find a way through. Just keep persevering, man. That's what it is. Keep persevering.